In this video, my goal is to help you get 1% better in using AI in your day-to-day life, whether that's your personal life or your business life. I was having lunch with a friend of mine last week, and he was telling me that he wants to integrate AI more in what he does, in his investing, in his professional life, in his personal life, but he's getting overwhelmed with all the updates. In this video, I just want to show you one simple use case where you can start using AI in your day-to-day. And the use case that I want to focus on is the pain that I'm seeing a lot in my 20 years in audit. Whether you're a multi-billion dollar company or a small business or even actually a nonprofit, this is a pain that I think that is common for many businesses. And the pain that I'm talking about is the lack of documentations or the lack of updated or current documentations that talk about your process. What happens is that you have a business, you're trying to run a department, and for some of you, for those who have to comply with Sarbanes-Oxley or some sort of compliance, you have a documented process, but along the way you get busy and that process becomes stale. When you get audited and you hand that documentation, I've seen this a lot, you don't have a documented policies and procedures. And again, like what I tell our business partners, like what I tell my clients, I get it because there's other more important things like generating revenue, caring for your team that you need to focus on. But now with AI, you can leverage this technology to help you document that process. Now, one thing I do want to share is that it's not going to be perfect. I want you to treat AI as a thinking partner. I want you to treat AI as a team member, a consultant, or a contractor that will help you actually write this SOP for you. My goal today is not for you to write the SOP, but we're going to use AI to interview us. At the end of this video, I'm going to go ahead and give you all the prompts that we're going to be using here so that this is something that you can apply. Because here's the thing, you can watch all the videos that you want, but unless you actually put this into action, it'll just be another video. But until you actually start using this, you will understand the limitations and the capabilities of AI. And here's the thing, it's not about being technical, really. The way I describe AI, when I talk to my wife about AI, I tell her that for our kids, we have kids that are not in high school yet. And I tell my wife, what's really important is not about them learning computer science. Those are good things because you need to have a good foundation, but really it's about being able to communicate. That's why we tell our kids, you got to keep reading, you got to do math. It's garbage in, garbage out. AI is not magic. Just like hiring a contractor or just like hiring a team member, unless you're able to direct them properly, the quality of the inputs that you're putting them determines the quality of the output they're going to give to you. So we're going to take the messy pain in your head. We're going to use AI as our thinking part. And then we're going to see what AI can do for us to take the stuff in our heads to be able to put that in paper and to be able to document that and to be able to share that with our team and also be able to update that when needed. And that the updating part, that's going to be another video to show you some automation that you can do with AI. But what we're going to do here is we're going to use AI to interview us. And the goal here is not to boil the ocean. You're going to pick one process. When you take this framework or this example I'm going to give to you, think about in your personal life or in your department, the area that you have scope over, what is that one thing that is really critical for you? So I went ahead for the demo's purpose. I have a master prompt here. And again, I'm going to be showing this to you. What we're telling AI is that you're going to help me create my first SOP, which is standard operating procedures, but not writing it. We're telling the AI that its job is to interview us first, like a sharp new operations manager who needs to learn my process well enough. For the demo, the process that we're going to document is the customer purchase orders. All right, so we're going to use Claude as our thinking partner here. All right, this one, it knows everything about me. I'm going to go ahead and put it in temporary incognito chat. It's not going to use all the histories that it has with me. In Claude, there's different models that you can use. Fable 5 and Opus 5 just came out today. That's the latest and greatest. Think of it as Fable 5 and Opus 5. Think of it as someone that has a PhD or someone that's like a master's degree. These guys, this model has more experience, has more capabilities. Sonnet and Haiku, think of it as kind of like someone in college or someone in high school. Right? These are great too, but think of Opus 5 as, let's say, someone in a big four accounting firm interviewing you, like a senior manager. It's more expensive, but the way they would ask you questions is more targeted because they've seen other industries or other companies. usually when I would do some brainstorming, I would usually use it before it was Opus 4.8. I was using Fable 5 for the past couple of weeks, using that as a thinking partner. And then I would switch down to Sonnet or even Haiku to actually execute on the task. Because here's the thing, when you have a really good structured plan, you'll be able to use the cheaper models to be able to execute on that. We're going to go ahead and copy this one here. And we're going to go ahead and paste it, right? Again, like what I said, I'm just going through that. And also when it comes to prompt, when you don't know, you're probably just starting out and you don't know where to start. Just to give you an example, I would just come here and say, hey, Claude, I'd like to document my process. And can you give me a prompt to help me walk through how to get something from my head and be able to use you as a thinking partner to be able to document that. I like to use voice. I like to use whisper flow. That's basically what I did here. And here we're just asking Claude, hey, I don't know where to begin. Give me a prompt to be able to ask you to help me accomplish what I'm trying to do. So I did that, right? And again, just me talking in natural language to Claude and be able to pass that. And now it's thinking, it's using Opus 5. This is my first time using Opus 5, by the way. I just saw that this just came out. We were at a family function and I got the email and now we're using it. It's the first time we're using it. All right, so now it's giving us a prompt, but we're not going to use that. But I just wanted to show you that we're going to use the master prompt that I already put together for us. I'm just going to use voice to show you that you can just use natural language or you can type. Say, hey, Claude, I just wanted to show you that. I just wanted to do that as a demo because I'm recording a demo for my audience, but please disregard that. I have a master prompt that I'm going to be pasting to you to help you illustrate how using AI or using Claude to interview us to get the messy process in our head to be able to create an SOP. All right, so I did that. I'm going to go ahead and hit space. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste the master prompt and press enter. All right, now just give it a few seconds or sometimes minutes, depending on the workload that you're doing it. Now it's saying that it's disregarding the earlier demo. I run the interview now. All right, so the first one is area 1 of 5. If you go back to the prompt that we have here, we're saying ask one question at a time and wait for my answer. It says cover these 5 areas. Walk me through it. It's asking what triggers this process and then what happens first. Then second and third until it's done. All right. Then the decision point where someone approves, rejects, escalates. Now we're asking Claude to ask us what are the control points and then the exception. Here is what happens when something goes wrong. What is our exception process for that? And then number 4 is what are the tools and handouts? What are the system we're using? What are the files? What are the spreadsheets and so on? And then the last one is what is done right? What is a good outcome looks like? And what would make the result wrong or risky? All right. And then also we put some guardrails to push back on vague answers. If I say, then I just handle it, ask me what handle actually means. We're using Claude as our thinking partner to really help us think and actually do a self-assessment of our current process. And lastly, don't write anything until the interview is finished. What we're saying here, the reason we're putting this here is that the challenge with AI is that when you're not clear on what you want, it will know the how. If you say, hey, I want you to write an SOP for this, but it won't know the what. What are the specific details? What are the guardrails? Here, what we're saying is that until the interview is finished, until basically I give you enough details, don't write anything. But because what we're doing here is we're grounding the AI to actually document what we have. And for the areas that's a gap, we want AI to identify that. All right. The first question that it asks here is that number 1 is walk me through it. It's asking, let's start with the trigger. A customer PO arrives by email. Where exactly does it land? A shared inbox, your personal inbox, or somewhere else? And who? All right. Here's the first one, right? All right. I'm going to go ahead and I just wanted to show that to you, but I actually pre-populated the answer already. Here I do have for the first question. I'm just going to go ahead and copy that. I'm going to go ahead and paste it and see what AI says. All right. All right. Now it's thinking and it's going to give us a response. Again, we want to treat AI as a thinking partner, not magic. You're the expert of your process. What you want to do is that when you're working with the AI, with Claude for this one, is that you want to analyze and review the responses that the AI is giving you to make sure that it's accurate, to make sure it's complete. And if it's not accurate or complete, just give that feedback to AI. Again, think of it as a thinking partner or a new team member that is learning about your process. And the more you interact with it, the more you give it feedback, the better it becomes, the better it knows about your business. Just like when you hire someone day one, they have a set of skills that they had from their previous jobs or from the university that they attended. And they know a little bit something about your business because they researched it, they researched about the job, they researched about the company, but they don't know the ins and outs. And the more you interact with it, the more you give it feedback, the better it becomes. All right, still in area one, I need the end of the sequence. You said she emails a confirmation back to the customer. Is that finish line or that's something else? It's asking us questions. It's our thinking partners interviewing us. Going back to this kit that I have right here, again, like I said, going through the prompt, it's going to go through this series of questions and it's going to push back on vague answers. That's what's happening here, is asking more questions. For the sake of this demo, instead of going through each one, I'm going to give this to you so you can try this for yourself. I'm going to go ahead and copy this other master prompt so that we can see a finished SOP, how that looks like. All right. I'm going to go ahead and paste that. All right. But here in the master prompt, I'm telling AI, hey, we're recording this live demo for video. Let's fast forward to save time. Again, just have the AI go through these questions with you. Give the best that you can and put some guardrails where the AI will say, hey, it's not clear. It's going to ask you for clarifying questions. All right. Here you go. Here's the SOP for the processing customer orders, email intake. It has a purpose, the trigger, and the different steps. But we need to be able to share that with our team members. With Claude, for example, is that it's here, it says right here, when this a downloadable file or a version 2 that closes gaps with purpose defaults. All right. Here, what you can do is you can actually turn it to a downloadable file. So we're going to do that. I'm going to show you a couple examples. We're going to do a downloadable file. And also I'm going to show you how to connect it to Google Doc. Go ahead, please go ahead and this into a file. All right. I'm just going to tell Claude, make this to a downloadable file. All right. That's step one. And then also we're going to show you how you connect it to your Google Docs. All right. What's happening here now is that we tell Claude to go ahead. It's giving us some recommendations, some questions. I'm going to say, go ahead and make this into a downloadable file. That's what it's doing right now. As you can see, it's creating that document for you. All right, there you go. Now, here you go. Now it downloaded as a markdown file, which is right here. Right. And also right here, it talks about different risks that it saw in your process. Again, I would say this is version 1 of your SOP. And then you can download it. You can make it into a PDF file. You can download it as a PDF file, right? Or you can save it into your Google Doc. You can do that, and now it's in your Google Doc. You can make the edits right here. You can share it with your team members and so on. There's a lot that you can do here. Again, I just wanted to show you a quick example because this is something that I do see that a lot of people struggle, is that they know what to do, but it's in their head, but they don't have anything documented. Now, as a bonus, I want to show you, all right, can we actually visually see it? I'm going to just tell Claude, hey, Claude, this is really good. Really appreciate the SOP. But what I'd like to do is, can you create a prompt for me that I can put in Gemini? Because I want to be able to visually see this so that it's easy for me to visually see how my process works. And also for me to be able to visually show to my team members how this process works, so that when we're reviewing it, by looking at the visual diagram, we can see if this really represents our process or not. And from there, we can give you feedback on what needs to be updated. So that's one of the things that I like to do. And working in audit for the past 20 years, this is always a challenge because it's one thing to write the process. That takes hours, that takes a lot of labor. And also being able to put this in a visual diagram like Microsoft Visio or something like that, that's another skill set. And also that's another investment that you have to make. For me, when I'm building something, for example, like this one right here, I wanted to visualize what I want to talk about in this episode. I use Gemini to create me a visual diagram of what I'm going to be talking about, the pain, the promise, and then also in this video, like an outline of what I want to talk about, right? That's something that we're going to do here. All right. I'm going to go ahead and copy this one. I'm going to go ahead and open Gemini. That Google. I'm going to open Gemini, and then I'm going to paste the prompt, and then I'm going to make sure I choose image. And now it's going to create a visual representation of my process. Let's see what it did. There you go. But here you go. Again, before, something like this would have taken me hours to do. And I do remember there was one time when we spent over $10,000 to bring someone in to actually create an SOP for us to help us identify the different controls and also to build something like this. So again, in this video, the goal here was to help you get 1% better with AI, to actually take a use case that you're struggling with in your business, policies and procedures that are in your head that you wish that you want to document, or policies and procedures that you've written many years ago that you wish that you can update. And we're using AI as a thinking partner to interview us, to get the messy process in our head and to be able to put that in a Google Doc and even visualize it. That's something that we can share with our team members. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful to you. And again, my challenge and encouragement to you is to download this AI SOP interview kit, because the only way to get better with AI is not by watching more YouTube videos, but it's actually taking one step. It's taking one process that you have and see how AI can solve that pain. And by doing that, you can see the capabilities and also the limitations of the AI tool. Don't start with the AI tool. The goal is not to ask what AI tool should I use, but the goal or the first step is to ask, what is the problem that I'm trying to solve and what is the best AI tool can solve that problem? If you found this useful, please go ahead and hit subscribe and also share it with someone that could benefit from this episode. I'll see you again next time, and thanks for watching.